All right, guys, welcome to one of the last videos here on this paper we're doing. It's for the conclusion paragraph. That's the green sheet, as you can see there. But you are going to find it very helpful to also have your blue introductory paragraph planner sheet and your white essay planner with you in order to effectively fill out this green conclusion paragraph planner. The reason why you will need these two is because these two will really guide what your conclusion ends up being like. Okay, so I'm going to sort of have these at the top of the screen here, just so you can I can reference them and you can see them. So in our conclusion, the first thing it wants us to decide on is what our concluding transition is going to be. So as you can see right there, it says concluding transition. If you look at the transitions chart we gave you, most of you do not have a paper copy. You have one that's been posted in Google Classroom. You can see it towards the bottom of that. It offers a number of different options to conclude and conclusion and summary and sum and brief and short, to sum up, to summarize, as you can see, okay? I didn't want to take any of those options on mine, so I just chose something similar. I said, as we have seen. But those are just some options. So it's just a way to start your last paragraph of your paper. So a simple one would be in conclusion, but you could try one of the more fancy ones from that list if you want. I chose as we have seen. Next, you can see that it says it wants me to summarize my thesis in different words. Now, here's where my previous two sheets, the blue and the white sheet, come into play. So as you'll recall, I had decided to do a specific thesis statement in my introduction paragraph, meaning that I was going to include specific reasons in my thesis statement in the introductory paragraph. When I decided I was going to restate my thesis, I decided I was going to do a general thesis statement. Now, so general meaning that I won't provide these specific reasons in that sentence. I will just say something generally that won't include those reasons. So I got rid of my cluing because this wasn't a cluing, it's a general, and I said evil is at the core of humanity. That's basically another way of saying, in different words, what my thesis was at the beginning of my paper, where it said humans are basically evil. Okay? Now it's a general thesis statement, so I'm not including the two reasons here, power-seeking and self-serving. And I didn't want to just repeat the words humans are basically evil again, so I just said basically the same thing. Evil is at the core of humanity. I just said it differently. Next, it wants me to remind the reader of my reasons, summary of reasons. So again, I'm including the idea of power-seeking and self-serving. So I'm bringing the reader's mind back to my two main points that were the two main body paragraphs that were in support of the idea that I thought humans are basically evil. So my reasons were, one, it showed that evil is at the core of humanity because it's shown through Voldemort and Scar's attempts at gaining power. So again, bringing the reader's mind back to my idea that humans are power-seeking, attempts at gaining power. Notice how I'm saying it slightly differently so it doesn't sound super repetitive, or I'm just saying the same stock phrases over and over again. You want to change up your word patterns a little bit so that it doesn't sound like you're just a robot repeating the same things again and again. And then my second reason, self-serving. So I said it was reinforced by their self-serving actions. Now notice these are just ideas. They're not complete sentences the way they are. So when I actually type this out, I will turn all this into complete thoughts in a full paragraph. That's the last paragraph of my paper. So those are my reasons. And then lastly, I need to leave the reader with something memorable. Notice we talked about three things that you could do. You could do a call to action, meaning you are asking the reader to do something. You're calling them to an action. You're saying, do this, perform this action. An echo, which means you are bringing the reader's mind back to how the paper began So bringing the reader's mind back to the attention grabber, which is why it's called an echo, because it's echoing it, or a prediction. So predicting based on what you've talked about in your paper, predicting what might occur in the future. Okay, so if you'll recall, on our essay planner, we had planned on doing an echo for our something memorable. So since I was sticking with this planner, I did an echo. Okay, so again, if I'm using an echo, what I need to do then is I need to go back and look at how I started my paper. Remember, I started my paper with this quote. The quote said, "The battle line between good and evil runs through the heart of every man," by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. So if that's how the paper starts and I'm echoing, I need to bring the reader's mind back to this idea and this quote as the end of my paper. That's what an echo is, okay? So what I came up with was this. I said, Alexander Solzhenitsyn was correct. The battle line between good and evil does indeed run through the heart of every man. And unfortunately, evil has won. So again, it's not just repeating word for word what you said at the very beginning in your attention grabber. That's not what an echo is. An echo is bringing the reader's mind back to the idea. But notice how I added new information and new thoughts on what I started the paper with. So it's not just a word for word repeat. It's bringing the reader's mind back to that topic. Okay. So that's how you're going to do your conclusion paragraph. Pause the video as you need to and go back and look at the different parts as I worked through them. Definitely ask your teacher, whether that's me or Mrs. Caston or whoever, what questions you have with that, okay? All right, thanks, guys.